Welcome back, investors, to Ticker Time News. I'm Adam, and we have a bunch of companies with catalysts coming up this week, and we're going to get into all of them. But remember, Catalyst Watch drops every Sunday evening, so make sure you're subscribed to get the right information at the right time to make the right investment decisions. Okay, now that I've plugged this Catalyst Watch show, let's get right into it. First, I'd like to run through a few companies from last week's list to hold myself accountable. Whether I'm right or wrong on any of these companies, I want to be held accountable and build trust with the investing community, with you. So last week we had the Trade Desk. They were up 46%. We had Cody. They were up 18%. AMD, 9%. Roblox, 38%. DoorDash, 24%, Unity Software, 30%, and Smile Direct Club. I gave a warning and said, stay away. Smile Direct Club was down 20% last week. And then the big shocker, one of the ones I got wrong was Palantir. Palantir was down 12% last week, and I did not expect that move. So I'm anticipating this is a buy the dip opportunity. Now, before we get into this week's stocks, and I know that's what you're here to see and hear and look at, to see the charts with me, to go through and go over. If you found last week's video helpful, informative, actionable, click the first link in the description to help support my research, analysis, and technical breakdowns by becoming a Patreon member today. I'll be adding new benefits for Patreon members this quarter to include trade setups, buy-sell signals, and other goodies. Okay, the retail sector jumps into the spotlight in the week ahead with Walmart, Target, Home Depot, Lowe's, all scheduled to report their earnings and post guidance for the holiday quarter, which is a big, massive quarter for retail companies. Now, Walmart generates enough sales in the US by itself, all alone by itself, that it's a read on consumer spending trends that are considered to be a barometer for the economy. Retail also takes over the economic calendar with the October retail sales report hitting on Tuesday, November 16th. Options trading spiked higher this week on DD Global, ticker symbol DIGI. EVGO, ticker symbol EVGO. Let me pull those up for you real quick. EVGO, EVGO. There we go. Now I've got the right screen working. Okay, as you can see, EVGO, it shot up over 91% last week on earnings and crazy momentum. I don't expect this high to last too long, so do be careful if you're in it. The option traders are saying, or they're betting, that this stock is going to come right back down. Another one is Fuel Cell Energy, ticker symbol FCEL. And watch this. Wait till you see this chart. It doesn't look like much, right? But it is up over 100% since earnings from mid-September. So it doesn't look like much on this chart because they shot up so high, like a lot of these energy, green energy companies did back in January and February of this year. So it doesn't look like a 100% growth, but they have popped 100% since mid-September, and there's been a lot of volume trading around it. Right now, the RSI on this is sitting right at 70.99, and anything 70 and above, that would be considered overbought and a time to sell, basically. That's a trading signal, right? Okay, so those are some companies to keep your eye on. Options are betting that they're going to come down. So we'll have to see on that. So if the option traders are right, then those companies might just come right back down. We've got a SPAC vote this week. Now, this is a cool company. Now, it's Virtuoso Acquisition Corp, and I hope I pronounced that first name correct, but the ticker symbol for the SPAC is VOSO, and they will vote on a deal with the auto data firm Wejo. If you remember, I did a video a while back, not that long ago, maybe September timeframe, when Wejo and Palantir partnered up, right? Well, they're going to potentially be trading public later on this week with the ticker symbol WEJO. Now, General Motors is one of the early backers in Wejo, but Palantir did have a, back in mid-September, like I said, a partnership with Wejo to provide Foundry from Palantir to Wejo to make sense of the massive amounts of data that Wejo collects from different connected vehicles. Wejo also has a partnership with Microsoft for cloud solutions. This new stock would be trading under the ticker symbol, like I just mentioned, WEJO, later on this week. I think it's one to watch. It's got a lot of name recognition with these big partnerships that it's making. Microsoft, Palantir, right? Two big ones, and they have several more. So keep this one on your radar. The SPAC is VOSO as the ticker symbol, and then Wejo will be trading under the ticker symbol WEJO later on this week. Okay, this will be the second week for trading RIVN, RIVN for RIVN, and it had a fantastic first week. It ended the first week with a market cap of a cool $105 billion. Actually, $110 billion. I should have checked my notes. $110 billion. I know the stock chart doesn't look like much, just a couple green candles there. This is the daily chart that I show with all the ones that we're looking at today. It gives us the best overall view of how the companies will be trading. Now, RIVN, it's a bit extended, and the price could see some volatility this week as it tries to find its footing and where it's going to end up landing in the realm of EVs, right? So there was, when we look at the 1 hour chart for RIVN, there's a spot between $120 and $125. It was trying to find some support within that price range, but it went above it, quite frankly. I mean, it's at $129.95 right now. So it could come back into that range or maybe a little bit lower. Now, something I found interesting when I was doing research for all of these companies that I'm talking about tonight is that on Wall Street Bets, they're proposing the question, who's shorting RIVN this week? And there's quite a few answers. So watch for volatility in RIVN this week. Now, since we're on the electric vehicle topic, we've got to talk about Tesla. Elon Musk went ahead and made some more comments first thing this morning, Sunday morning, when I'm recording this live right now. But Sunday morning, so earlier this morning, Elon Musk, so far, before I get to his comment, he's sold about 36% or so of his promised 10% stake in Tesla. So he's still got 60-some% to go. So what he did was he went on Twitter this morning, and Elon Musk tweeted in reply to Bernie Sanders, asking Bernie if he should sell more of his Tesla shares. Oh my goodness. Why? Oh man. He's a smart guy. Elon Musk is a genius. I know it. But he's out there trolling, I guess, Bernie Sanders today. Who knows who it'll be tomorrow. But it's kind of fun. But these comments from the CEO of Tesla like this, just like it provided volatility last week for Tesla, and I should have pulled this up, TSLA is the ticker symbol. Just like it provided volatility for Tesla last week, I mean, you had this big drop off, a bounce, and then a fall. It's under its 21-day moving average right now, so it's showing a little sign of weakness. It was down 2.8% on Friday. So this might just provide a little more volatility to the already volatile stock. and the additional selling pressure of Elon Musk having to sell another 60% of that 10% stake that he committed to selling. So just watch out for maybe buying opportunities for Tesla. Okay, next up is Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin trading view, it's who I use for all the charting. Ticker symbols BTC USD on trading view. And then you have a couple of options. I use Coinbase for their data. Now, Bitcoin just went through a major update. Bitcoin has not undergone a big upgrade in 4 years. So this upgrade is substantial. The upgrade is called Taproot, and it's officially live right now. This is why last week we saw this consolidating kind of a flatness. The price barely moved on, looks like, 3 or 4 days right here. Now that the update Taproot is live, I think Bitcoin will continue now on its leg higher, going to, I'm calling 75K by the end of the year. 100K, I don't know, but I think it can get another $10,000 with relative ease. But the update provides more transaction privacy, more efficiency, and it opens the potential for smart contracts. Now, Ethereum is big for smart contracts. And now that Taproot has been enabled on Bitcoin, Bitcoin can also now do smart contracts. Cardano went underneath a similar upgrade back in mid-September or so to accept smart contracts. So it's a big deal for Bitcoin to be able to do this. Now, more than 90% of miners have indicated that they plan to upgrade to Taproot. So we've got a consensus with the miners. Now, the activation still has to work its way through the system. So you might log into your wallet holding Bitcoin and you probably won't notice a difference. That's because these wallets, they will have to actually upgrade themselves to work properly with the new Taproot upgrade to Bitcoin. So this could take a couple of years, quite frankly, for all of these different Bitcoin supported wallets or wallets supporting Bitcoin to support Bitcoin's new Taproot update. So just something cool to mention, to get it out there. I think it'll be a nice force to get Bitcoin going up again. Now, on Monday, November 15th, we've got Lucid Motors, ticker symbol LCID. They have been moving beautifully. Been a bit volatile, but moving nonetheless, especially since that dip it had back in September when it was down close to, what, $15 a share. Now it's up to $43.93. So Lucid Motors, they report earnings for the first time, and they'll hold their initial earnings call as well. Now, this is big for any company. After they've gone public, their very first earnings call, it kind of sets the stage for what the company is going to look like, how the company is going to operate, how the company is going to communicate with the with reporters and investors. So it's a big deal. And on this earning call, I think investors will be looking for production and reservation updates. Some analysts see the risk reward skewed to the downside for Lucid on its earnings day following a 75% 6-week rally. That's right, in 6 weeks, the past 6 weeks, Lucid is up 75%. Now, implied volatility on Lucid is up to 117, and it's on the rise. And it's 15% higher than the 20-day moving average. The expected post-earnings single-day share price move for Lucid is 14.3% based on options trading. Now, Lucid has committed to deliver 520 Lucid Airs in 2021. If they derive or if they deviate from that number, that could affect the share price as well. So watch out for Lucid. They could be on the move this week too. All right, another company that I know is going to move this week is Advanced Auto Parts. Ticker symbol is AAP. Let that load for you. They report their Q3 earnings, and they have an estimated EPS of $2.85, revenue of $2.58 billion, and has a price target between $236 and $276. So it's not quite there yet. It's getting close. If you remember, AutoZone, we've talked about them before on the After Hours show. Ticker symbol is AZO. I'll just pull it up here for just a quick second. And if you look at the chart, and then when the chart flips, they're very similar. Now, AutoZone, they beat on their earnings back in late September. And Advanced Auto Parts and AutoZone, they have been moving in lockstep with each other. And it could be a good week for the auto parts store. All right, next up is ADP, and that's their ticker symbol, ADP. All right, this company has been on a nice run throughout October. It is just above in its trading range right now, and typically when it gets above that, it will pull back down a little bit. However, it's got some fantastic news coming up. It's hosting its 2021 Investor Day. Shares of ADP rose more than 4.5% on the day of its last Investor Day event and were up 12% 3 months later. Now, ADP is trading a little extended right now, so just keep that in mind. This is a company that is definitely set to move off of the announcements made during its investor presentation. Okay, another company set to move that I think might move to the downside is Oatly Group. Ticker symbol is OTLY. Now, they post their earnings on Monday and could see a double-digit move on Tuesday. Its IPO lockup period ends. So even if Oatly has a good earnings, its lockup period ending the very next day will provide a lot of selling pressure. So this is going to be a volatile stock this week. Now, it hasn't been very healthy at all since going public. It had a nice run up after going public back in May of this year. But since this high in June, it's just been in a downtrend. So earnings coming up may give it a little boost. It may not. But then the lockup period ends on Tuesday, the very next day. Okay, for Tuesday, November 16th, the October retail sales report lands on the laps of investors at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the expectation for a 1.1% headline month-over-month gain, a 1% improvement month-over-month excluding auto sales, and a 1.4% increase in core CPI. Broad-based improvement across major sectors, including restaurants, department stores, and general merchandise, are forecast by Bank of America. So far this year, department store stocks like Kohl's, ticker symbol KSS, Macy's, ticker symbol M, Dillard's, ticker symbol DDS, and Nordstrom's, ticker symbol JWN, JWN as in Nancy, have shown the strongest correlation to the retail sales report, meaning if retail sales meet or exceed a 1.1% gain for the month, then those companies could tick up very nicely. Okay, another mover on Tuesday is Qualcomm. Ticker symbol is QCOM. And when you see them on the chart, what a beautiful, nice gap up it had there from this pattern. it's been an amazing mover. It is up over 21% in just the last week off of a fantastic earnings and guidance. Now, they are holding its investor day to very high expectations. Bank of America anticipates the event could provide clarity on the company's long-term strategy, focusing in particular the potential upside in non-handset markets. JP Morgan, well, they expect the presentation to be a catalyst for the stock as management team outlines a new 3-year plan focused on the opportunities in the non-headset businesses, which should benefit the long-term model. Shares of Qualcomm fell 2 years ago during the Investor Day presentation when the company's multi-year outlook was disappointing. All right, another company set to move for this week is Pros Holdings. The ticker symbol is PRO, P-R-O. Let that chart load for you. Now, they have been in a downtrend, but they had a nice bounce in reverse on earnings just this past week. Now, they are holding its Outperform 2021 user conference in this next 3 days, right? And that could be a good catalyst for the company. This nice bounce and turnaround it saw from its earnings. It is sitting right on its 50-day moving average, which gives it a slightly positive bullish signal since it is sitting right above it. And then this event could provide that additional catalyst to move it further. Now, the event should provide additional confidence and comfort to investors. It's recently turned its stock price around with positive earnings. Okay, the big one that a lot of investors are waiting for is Walmart, ticker symbol WMT. Now, Walmart, we know, is a huge and massive company, and it's a barometer for the economy. Now, they're scheduled to report their Q3 2021 earnings with an estimated EPS of $1.39 with revenue of $134.26 billion. Walmart has a balancing act to perform with rising costs, strong demand, and product supply shortages. Sales should come in higher, but I'm wondering if margins will compress a little more than expected. If this is the case, then Q4 guidance will be the key factor to Walmart's success and whether they can tick up from this earnings. Now, Evercore issued a negative trading call on Walmart ahead of its earnings due to margin headwinds. Okay, next up, Home Depot, ticker symbol HD. Now, Home Depot and Lowe's both report this week. I think Home Depot might be a little stronger, but both of them could be showing a sign of weakness. But I'll talk about them and what I see happening here. Now, Home Depot had a nice run in October. It's kind of flattened out now in November. Now, they report their Q3 21 earnings with an estimated EPS of $3.38 with revenue of $34.87 billion. Home Depot could see more downside after a 15% gain in the past month and a half. That's that October rally. Plus, with rising costs and a possible peaking in demand, because we're getting into wintertime, people aren't going to be doing as much renovation, construction, fixing up on their homes until next spring. So that's where the peaking in demand could be coming from for Home Depot and also Lowe's. So this may provide a little bit of pressure, keeping a lid on the performance of the stock. Now, a long-term outlook would suggest a buy the dip strategy for 2022 renewed strength, because we know once spring rolls around, then sales are going to come back even stronger. Now, the last company for Tuesday is Palo Alto Networks. Ticker symbol is PANW, PANW. Let that chart load there for you. Now, Palo Alto Networks has its host of the Ignite 21 Investor Hour as part of its 3-day conference it's hosting. Now, key areas of product innovation and announcements from Ignite 21 will be reviewed, followed by a Q&A type of session. Now, shares of Palo Alto Networks rose more than 3% last year during the same event and were 30% higher 1 month later. So if they have good news, it could take a couple of weeks for that good news to finally show up in the stock. Okay, now we're into Wednesday of this week, and that's November 17th. Now, we've got Aspen Aerogels. Now, I want to bring them up. Ticker symbol is ASPN. Let that chart load there so you can see this. They have been on a beautiful run. They're a bit stretched out at the top at this moment. That may prevent any bigger moves to the upside. It could be a consolidating, maybe even moving down. But the reason I bring Aspen Aerogels up is Aspen Aerogels is lined up as one of the potentially more intriguing presenters at the Piper Sandler Battery Summit. The company has not received too much exposure, but has been performing. Callouts by Piper Sandler follow similar events have led to share price gain. Now, this is a company in the green industry, green energy sector, and I don't see very many people talking about it, and it's such a wonderful performer. If I just measure this here real quick, just this rally. So right here, I'm going to measure from here, which is June 30th, through this rally that it's been in, and I'm going to stop it right here at the top. That's a 162.98% gain in 135 days. That is incredible performance. This company does not get enough love, I know, from YouTubers, definitely, because I hardly hear this name being brought up. And again, it's Aspen Aerogels, excuse me, and the ticker symbol is ASPN. Look the company up. It is a solid company. Now, the next company I want to bring up is Fisker, ticker symbol FSR. Now, Fisker holds a reveal event for its Ocean SUV in advance of the LA Auto Show. Shares of Fisker have been volatile this year, to say the least, around announcements about the Ocean model. Shares could move rapidly. There could be news that comes out about the SUV, the price shoots up, and then all of a sudden, boom, the price comes right back down. That's what we've seen several times throughout the year on Fisker. The most recent big spike and big fall within one day was on August 10th, where the stock jumped 21% just to fall 17% the very next day. That's the type of thing I'm concerned that could happen. A nice steady progression is much better than rapid 20% moves in a day, because those are not steady and they can fall, especially for a new company like Fisker. All right, now we get earnings from Target. Let me pull them up here. Ticker symbol is TGT. We've got a couple earnings to go through here. Target is in a very good structure. You can see the vertical lines, those 3 vertical lines going straight up and down. Those are marking earnings for Target. So the past 3 earnings, Target has had a down, a up, and a down. 3 completely different earnings reports there. This middle report was so good. This was back in May. So this would have been May 19th, right? EPS. I was looking for it there. Okay, 67% surprise on EPS and 11% surprise to the upside for revenue. Now, if we look at earnings before that, only a 5% on EPS and a 3% on revenue. And then the one after that, a 3% on EPS and barely a percent on revenue. So that's why you saw that giant move here with a 67% surprise on earnings and 11% surprise to the upside on revenue. If we get that here, then you're going to see the stock extend itself up above this middle resistance line, and they're going to run above that. So it could be a good day for Target if they report. I'm actually leaning more towards Target being a better performer than Walmart right now. All right, so right now they have an estimated EPS of $2.80 with revenue of $24.5 billion. Now, we also have Lowe's. I've been talking about Home Depot and Lowe's and together with the same conversation. So Lowe's, they have their earnings, and you can see here for the past 3 earnings, the first earning, down, red. Second earning, down, red. Third earning, which was their last earnings report, they popped up, and they only beat EPS by 5% and revenue by 3% in order to get that gain right there, partially due to guidance. That's why guidance is so important in earnings reports, because remember, the market, these are just based off of future returns. So if the future doesn't look good, then a stock's price is coming down. If the future does look good, then the stock's price is going to go up. You can boil it down to being that simple. Okay, so Lowe's estimated EPS is $2.34 with revenue of $21.99 billion. Now, Lowe's might be waning a bit, so the strategy could change to a long-term look and a buy the dip strategy, just like Home Depot. Now, I think Home Depot might outperform Lowe's just a little bit, but both of them are entering a seasonal period where it's a slowdown in business. All right, another company that is set to move is NVDA. Ticker symbol is NVDA. Now, NVIDIA has earnings coming up. The estimated EPS is $1.08 with revenue of $6.81 billion. Now, NVIDIA has had a total blowout outperformance over the past month, and that's brought some concern from analysts. Now, NVIDIA was downgraded to neutral from outperform at Wedbush due to its valuation stretching out. Many other analysts are also calling the risk-reward profile to the downside on earnings day. Now, NVIDIA, it's up 55% since the beginning of October. That has been a big run. So taking profits now, not a bad idea, because most analysts believe that it's stretched out too far and it needs to pull back and have a correction. So keep an eye on NVIDIA for that. Now, another company that seems to be under the radar of most is Weber, and they just went public earlier this year. Their ticker symbol is WEBR. Now, when you look at the chart, it doesn't look like much because they have not been public very long. They've had their first earnings report, and it looked really good, and the stock reacted to that appropriately. But right now, there's actually a descending triangle forming on the chart for Weber. Now, they have an estimated EPS at a loss of 18 cents with revenue of $336.1 million. On good earnings and guidance, Weber could make a double-digit move to the upside. All right, moving on to Thursday, November 18th. I've got a repeat company from last week, and that's Cody. And Cody right now is very bullish. And Coty's ticker symbol is their name, COTY. Now, this is a makeup cosmetics company, but they have been totally outperforming it. They blew it out of the water with their earnings report. They've jumped 18% since last week. Coty hosts its Investor Day with the management team planning on updating the company's vision, strategy, and financial outlook. Shares of Coty jumped 11% in the 3 days following its last investor update, when a new growth strategy was highlighted. I'm bullish on Coty. I think they can do really well, especially if management comes out and shines. Now, it's a $10.81 stock. They have a market cap of $8.8 billion. Okay, moving off of Coty, and again, I have a bullish feel on how Coty is going to perform over the next quarter. Next company coming up is Teladoc Health. I'm sure a lot of you have heard Kathy Wood at ARK Invest talk about Teladoc Health. Now, their ticker symbol is TDOC, TDOC. Now, Teladoc Health, they provide virtual appointments for doctors. Now, they haven't been doing very good in the long run look at things, but they did have a little bounce from their earnings back in the middle to end of October, but they've been selling off ever since. They're kind of using their 50-day moving average, and this is a 50-day simple moving average, as resistance, but just recently at earnings, they broke above it, and the few days leading up to earnings, they broke above it, but now they've fallen back below it, and that is a bearish or a weak signal for the stock. Now, the reason I'm bringing Teladoc Health up is not because of how amazing the chart looks, because it doesn't, but they're hosting an investor day. And whenever companies host investor days, there could be surprise announcements that send a stock to the moon. It can literally happen. Now, on their investor day, they're expected to offer key insights about the industry's evolution and rapid growth, as well as the company's vision, strategy, and outlook. Bank of America is cautious, though, on Teladoc Health ahead of the event, citing questions about near-term margins. Shares of Teladoc Health rose 22% in the 3 weeks following its last investor day. So good news, new products, renewed health on the health of the financials of the company, or growth potential for the company, new contracts. Those can lead to the big jumps that you can see in stocks on a single day. But then be prepared for big falls, big pullbacks the next day. Okay, we also get earnings from JD.com, Alibaba, Macy's, Kohl's, Workday, Applied Materials, and Applied Materials is actually on a big hot streak right now. And Applied Materials is AMAT, A-M-A-T is their ticker symbol. And just look at this chart right here. They had a wonderful October and November, but prior to that, they were flat all the way from April until that October rally. So flat that their 200-day moving average actually caught up to them right here. You can see that yellow line. That's the 200-day simple moving average, and it caught the stock right there. You don't want that 200-day moving average to come to where the stock is trading at, because that is a bearish signal, and especially if the stock then falls below it, oh no, watch out. But it had a beautiful run up right here. Look at this. From the drop in March, it just took off like a rocket ship, again, all the way until April of this year, and then traded flat. Now it's finally starting to get some momentum again, get some love again. It bounced off that 200-day moving average really nicely. But Applied Materials, this hot streak it's on, is because it topped its revenue and EPS in the 7 out of the 8 last quarters. That's one of the reasons why it did so good over the past month. Okay, Palo Alto Networks also has their earnings, but we talked about them already, and they report also. I don't have the numbers for them. I forgot to pull those up. So we'll do it right now. All right, Palo Alto Network. Oh, let's just move on from it. I'll pull it up and let this load, and then we'll move on to the I'll let this load, and then I'll bring their earnings back up at the end of this. It's got to let it load here. Sorry for pausing here for a moment. I should have had this pulled up. Okay, let's keep moving on. Oh, there it is. Okay, so on Thursday, Palo Alto Networks has their earnings call, and they have an EPS of $1.57 on revenue of $1.2 billion. And then, of course, they've got their event coming up as well that we talked about earlier. Okay, moving on from that, let's go to Friday, November 19th, and we've got another electric vehicle play that we need to watch, and that's XPEV. Ticker symbol for XPEV, let me get the cursor back over here, is XPEV. XPEV. Okay, now the reason I'm bringing XPEV up, it hasn't been a very loved stock. I mean, it had a nice rally here in October, like most companies did, but it's kind of being left behind on the performance side of other, maybe not as bad as NEO, but for a Chinese EV stock, compared to some of the US companies, it's not getting as much love. But the reason I bring XPEV up is they are launching their new smart EV model at the auto show in Asia. The new car will be in addition to the company's current G3 SUV line. Details on pricing, range, and features could give shares of XPEV a boost in the boost that it needs. Well, that's the stocks and companies I wanted to talk about this week. What catalyst are you watching for this week? Let me know in the comments below. And leave a comment, no matter what it is, whether you like this, you didn't like this, critique it, tell me what you liked, whatever it is. Your comments make these videos so much better. And I love reading your comments and seeing what you guys have to say and what you're talking about, what you're watching. So let me know in the comments below your catalyst that you're watching this week. And if you found this video helpful, informative, and actionable, then click the like button and share this video so we can all enjoy some financial freedom. And the last thing I want to mention, every day the market is open, I host the After Hours show starting at 5 p.m. Eastern, where we talk about what moved markets, stocks, crypto, but most importantly, your requested ticker symbols. That's right. You leave a comment with the ticker symbol, and we go over the charts and financials live during the show. Okay, guys, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, so much for being with me. It was fun. It was great. I hope you guys learned a couple of stocks that you can watch this week. But I will see you tomorrow for the After Hours show starting at 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Have a good rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.